What's going on? It's Romeo. We made it back from the weekend. We talked a little bit about passing out. You drink too much, where'd you pass out? And things that you can afford. You know that we always wanted stuff. Once we started to make a little bit of money, what could you afford finally? And you were excited to buy. Let's see. So I was telling you a story about some friends of mine, a married couple, and she cheated on them. Well, they ended up working it out. They're staying together, and they were explaining it to me the other night. And she was saying how she tried to tell him, and he agreed with all this, by the way. So the story that I'm going to tell you that she said he agreed with. And she said she tried to talk to him that you're working too much. You need to spend more time with me. You need to be at home more, yada, yada, yada. Apparently, he didn't listen to that. And so she cheated. And he told me he saw that her cheating as a wake-up call that he was ignoring his marriage. And so they're working it out. RD4254-707. Good morning, now. What's going on?
Romeo, I think it's the cheater's fault. She can make all the excuses she wants, but at the end of the day, she chose to cheat. So I don't think
would tend to agree with that. I would think that you never have to cheat. I would agree with you on that. But my buddy, he's making the excuse. He's taking part of the blame. So I don't know.
Yeah, he's a fool. And, there's a lot of things she could have done. She could have found time to crochet. She could have found time to cook, work out. But she didn't have to cheat. So your friend is a fool for going back with her. He should have took it as a red flag and got out of the relationship. But the fact that he wants to stay in it means that she's hella fine. She must be beautiful. But even then,
yeah, but he's rich. Her. But he's rich. So
he's dumb then, man. If he's rich, she can easily replace her.
They
get rid of her.
You think he bamboozled her? Him? He tricked him.
Yeah, loyalty is worth more than anything, and she broke that trust, so she needs to get out of that relationship.
Okay. All right. Maybe she did. Maybe she's playing Jedi mind tricks on him, making him believe that he was to blame, so that she's flipping the blame on him, so she can do what she wants and still keep her lifestyle. Maybe. RD4254-707. RD4254-707. Hey, Rome. I say there's no excuse. My ex-wife thought the grass was greener on the other side of the road, just to find out that he was still staying with his parents at the age of 35. I'm living my best life while she's struggling to keep a roof over her head with 3 baby daddies and 5 kids. The first 3 kids are mine. 2 of my kids are grown. If she would have stayed faithful, she would have been good. Curiosity killed the cat. No excuse. If you're going to cheat, just leave. Now, the guy that's trying to make it work, always going to have something to hang over her head. Okay. I mean, I can see what you're saying. I just had never seen... Like I said, I just never seen that perspective before. For this guy to say, well, he needs to take accountability for the fact that he was working all the time and wasn't paying attention to his marriage. So she actually cheated to get his attention, as he put it. That made him open his eyes to what was wrong with his marriage, because she cheated, and to want to stay in it and fix his marriages seems a little, seems like she's playing mind games. Seems like she's got some sort of, Jedi mind trick on him, right? At least that's the way I see it, because there was no other way. But she did say, she explained to him that she needed more of his attention for him to be home a lot more, and that didn't work, apparently. The cheating worked, so I don't know. I mean, can you really hold it? How long can you hold cheating over somebody's head if you decided to stay, once you decided to stay, right? I mean, I don't know. I always think it's the cheater's fault. I don't care. I don't know. I'm trying to understand it. I'm trying to be a little more open-minded about it, but I just don't see how it's not the cheater's fault. But he's taking accountability and saying that it's not all her fault. So I don't know what kind of hypnotic whatever spell she's got over him. All right, 842-547-7. Yeah, it's crazy, right?
some friends of mine, they went through a little bit of a marriage problem. He was working a lot. She cheated on him. So I ran into him, and they were telling me how they were working it out. And apparently, she told him that he needed to spend more time with her, spend more time at home. He didn't really listen. Now, he verifies all this. We had the conversation together that he didn't listen to her. He still kept working and doing what he had to do. She ended up cheating on him, and that got his attention. So apparently, because of that, now he realized, hey, I got to spend more time with my wife, spend more time with my marriage, and now they're working it out. They're going to, so he took accountability for her cheating. Wow. I don't know if that's right or wrong. I always blame the cheater because that's just dirty. Hey, Rome, you can't always have everything you want. That you have a providing husband or a guy that doesn't give you nothing. Okay, fair enough. Hey, good morning, Romeo. Just end it. Throw her back. Don't let a person tell you twice that they don't love you. The whole time from meeting, having a conversation to setting up a hookup before the place of cheating, you didn't once think about me. I agree with you, Rome. Cheating is the most disrespectful thing that you can do to somebody. How do you think cheating is going to fix a relationship? She has no excuse. Man or woman, cheating is cheating. And that's what I tend to agree. But I'm just telling you based on their logic and what he was saying about the fact that my wife cheated on me because I wasn't there for her. She told me I wasn't there for her, and since I didn't fix that, she cheated, and that was what got my attention to go, you know what? Okay, I need to fix this relationship and this marriage. I don't know that I agree with that. He's taking responsibility and accountability for her cheating. He's not just blaming her for cheating. But I don't know. I always think it's the cheater's fault because you can find a way without cheating. And if you can't find a way to get what you want without cheating, why don't you leave? Already 42547. You need to understand both sides. You need to understand they're not going to stop making men and women. Okay. They're not going to stop making whatever you're into, they're not going to stop making those. So if you get cheated on, or you can move on. You'll find another, if you can find a spouse once, you can find another one. It's not that hard. Okay, yeah, there'll be some heartache. You'll be upset. Some feelings will be hurt, but you can always find somebody else. Always. We're talking about cheaters, and is it always the cheater's fault when it comes to a relationship? I think it always is, but I ran into some friends of mine who she cheated on her husband. She tried to tell him that she wasn't getting enough attention from him. He was working too much, and he didn't listen, so she cheated. And now they're working it out. He said that was the wake-up call he needed to realize what she was going through, and he's taking basically the bulk of the responsibility for her cheating, which seems crazy, right? All right, 42547. Hey, Rome, I was cheated on too, but I was open for sex all the time, even when I was sick or in my time of the month. His excuse was it just happened. I was drunk. It's an accident. And when you got me, been emotional cheating on a guy, my husband called it different. Oh, wait. And when you got me emotionally cheating on a guy, my husband called it different. It was worse. I physically never slept with someone. I will say that, by the way, on top, I'm glad you brought that up because I think the opposite of that. I think emotionally cheating on somebody is worse than just physically cheating on somebody. Because look how crazy people get caught up in their feelings and their emotions, and it can drive you to the point of just insanity, right? So yeah, no, I see what you're saying with that. Alrighty, 42547. Just to answer, why is it different? Because she is the one that cheated. A woman that cheats is disgusting. A man brags about how many people he slept with. Women lie about it for a reason because they know they lose value. apples and oranges, cats and dogs, men and women. We are not the same. I don't know where you're going with that. Just to answer, why is it different? Because she is the one that cheated. It's not different. I don't know why you're saying it. It's not different. Rome, how many, I don't even know. Red to Rob, what are you talking about? Some of you guys need to just listen to the show. Red to Rob, today's your day to just listen, okay? Don't participate. Try again tomorrow. 4254777. We were talking about cheating, right? Is it ever the fault of the person who got cheated on? Because I was telling you a story about a friend of mine, some friends of mine who are working on their marriage. She cheated on him because he worked too much. And she told him that. She said, hey, you're working too much. I need you to spend more time at home with me and our marriage. And he didn't listen. She cheated. And he says that was the wake-up call he needed. And so basically he took responsibility for her cheating, which I don't know if I believe that at all. I don't know what kind of punk-ass friend I got, but damn. Hey, Rome, what's up here? What'd you send me here? What's up, Rome? I agree. It's the cheater's fault. Take out your issues. You make the decisions to cheat. Leave if you can't work it out. I don't agree that it's equal fault. I've always worked 2 or 3 jobs, coached sports, and was involved in playing sports while providing for the wife and the family. I had to find ways to still have time for the wife. I'm about to celebrate 28-year anniversary and been together off and on since we met in 91. I am no saint and made mistakes early, and it was never her fault. We worked through things, and I feel blessed to have her. But you got to listen to your spouse and make sure you are staying present. And so did you cheat on her and she stayed? For them, no one can make you step outside your marriage, no matter how bad you think it is. You ultimately made the choice on your own. Can't blame the one who didn't cheat. You can work it out through coming through a therapist's point of view. Depends on the one who didn't cheat. Everyone makes mistakes in life, and you can't tell someone else they should have left if they choose to stay and work it out. Some can forgive that, and some can't. Have a blessed one. Raider James. Yeah, Raider James is usually very sensible. And I usually take Raider James's advice to heart because he's usually pretty good. But I don't know, man. I think cheating is the one thing you can't forgive and you can't forget. And you can't, I don't think, for my buddy to say that was the wake-up call he needed and now it's better, I don't know. We've been talking about some close friends of mine. They went through a little bit of a downturn in their marriage. She cheated on him, and I ran into him. I hadn't talked to him in a while, but I ran into him the other night, and they're getting back together. They're staying together. They're going to work it out. Apparently, the way they broke it down to me was he basically blamed himself for her cheating. He basically said she was saying she didn't get enough attention. She didn't have time. He was too busy working. He was too busy working, didn't pay enough attention to her, and she told him that he didn't fix it, so she cheated. Basically, he's saying that that was his wake-up call. That was what made him realize that this was serious, and so now they're working it out, which, I mean, it sounds to me like she just straight bamboozled him into thinking that he was wrong. She just played some Jedi mind trick on him and made him believe he was wrong, because cheating, it's always the cheater's fault. Always. You're telling me one conversation, there's not something else to do? There's not another way to figure it out? Cheating was the only way to get it done? I mean, come on. I don't know if I can believe that. Already 4254777. Hey, Rome, I need to ask you about the people you know, and you're talking about how much money do they have? Is there any chance, you said he works a lot, is there any chance he's just staying together with her because it's cheaper to keep her than it is to have to give her half of everything? And does she work or not? Yeah. No, she does not work. And he makes very, 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 very good money. So it never occurred to me to ask him that. But maybe you're right. Next time I talk to him, I'll ask him if he's just staying with her because he doesn't want to give her half his stuff. Yeah, no, she doesn't work and he pays all the bills, but he's very wealthy. I mean, yeah, he makes a lot of money. RD4254777. Hey, Rome Dumper, a woman that actually in love would communicate her feelings because the relationship is important to her. He's choosing to cheat. Or her choosing to cheat tells him everything he needs to know about her. Once a cheater, always a cheater. And what happens again? What happens if he works too much? You know, I mean, there's no, she's got the upper hand on him now, instead of equality in the relationship. I mean, what do you do? You know, did he not work so much when you married him? That's the other thing. You know, I think she's got him wrapped around his finger under some sort of spell that he doesn't believe there's not somebody else better than her out there and he can't go get one. You can. RD4254777. Let's see, Rome. Hey, it's in a man's biology and DNA to cheat and to be with more than one woman. It's second nature to us, Rome. Prove me wrong. You won't. Oh, you're an idiot. I'll just say that right now. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Hey, Rome, what do you got here? Oh my gosh, this was Raider James that sent me this. Okay, it says, but Rome, the person who cheated on. Oh wait, hold on. The person who was cheated on will never forget it and will think about it off and on for the rest of their life. Multiple things will trigger that thought. Be ready for them to be upset at times and mad at you out of the blue. You get to deal with that because you made the mistake. If you can't then find ways to move on, find ways to co-parent as friends. If either one can't deal with the future arguments, and it's coming back up at times. Well, that's why I said I don't think people will ever get over it. If you're anybody who cheats, you're never going to get over it. You may say you do. You may stay with the person for whatever justifications you've made to yourself in your head, but you're still going to always think about it. Anytime I like Raider James's thought process, it's going to trigger. So what do? You know? You have to get over it. Once you decide to stay with the person that cheated on you, you have to just erase it from your memory. There's nothing you can do about it but erase it from your memory, and because you decided to stay there. At that point, it's on you, not the cheater. Rome, I used to go to ranch parties back in the day, and one day I got so drunk and passed out in the chicken coop. I woke up with hay in my hair. Oh, man, there's nothing better than a great story where you passed out somewhere, right? RD4254777. I'll tell you a story. I passed out in a friend of mine's room. We were at the Wynn, and we got so drunk, I passed out in his bed. Him and his wife slept on the couch. Well, our rooms look similar, so I thought I was in my room. I didn't know what was going on. I was freaked out, didn't have no pants on. It was crazy. All right, good morning. Now, what's going on?
Hey, I want to tell you about one of the times when I passed out in Vegas.
You said one of the times. Okay.
Okay. What's the best one? So I was in Vegas for my 21st birthday with my sister, and we were there for like 4 days. And like on the fourth day, we switched hotels, and I was drunk when we switched hotels. So we switched hotels. I never make it up to the room because I go drinking and gambling. And by the end of the night, I left with someone. And I left my phone somewhere, my room key somewhere. I woke up in his hotel at the Hard Rock. I had no idea who I was with, where I was at. I thought I was with my sister still. And he had to tell me where I was staying, send me a taxi over there. And when I got there, I was just frantic. I was like, I don't know where I belong. I'm lost. The security guard had to escort me up to the room, and my sister was literally about to file a missing persons.
Wow. Did you ever find your phone?
No. Yeah.
Wow, that sounds like a great time.
Yeah, it was, but everyone was mad at me.
Did you ever see the dude again?
No, I don't even know his name.
All right, thanks for calling.
All right.
Hey, Romy, I'm a happy drunk. This past Saturday, I fell asleep at Don Perico's, woke up, took off to McMurphy's, blacked out, woke up at Casa Tequila. Great night. Jeez. Good morning, Don. What's going on?
Romeo, what's happening, brother?
Hey, what up, brother?
Hey, I just want to share an experience I had. I didn't actually pass out. I fell asleep. I was working a lot and decided, man, I'm going to go get a haircut after work. So I went and sat there and get a haircut, and I fell asleep on the chair while I was getting a haircut. The barber panicked, goes, hey, are you okay? And I'm like, what the hell just happened? I fell asleep.
That's awesome.
I was trying to explain to him that I was working a lot and stuff, and he told me, well, maybe you should take a nap before you come get a haircut.
That's funny. That's pretty good, man. Thanks for calling.
All right, buddy.
I can understand that working a lot. One time, I had to lay some stones. My mom's patio, she wants some stone laid. So I got up and I got up, drove to my mom's house, started about 5 a.m, worked till about 7 p.m. And when I finished and I was sitting there I sat down in a chair and was out immediately. I never had that happen before. I never had been so tired before that I just fell asleep. Never happened to me before. Already 42547-7. Where'd you pass out? Talking about passing out. Where'd you pass out? Good morning, Hot. What's going on?
What up, man? I got a great story where I passed out.
What happened?
All right, so it was New Year's, and I get super drunk, and I wake up. I was at the club. Last thing I remember, I was at the club. Then I wake up about 4 a.m. I knew how I had been throwing up because I was kind of sober, but I was really tired and groggy. So I wake up standing up in a bathroom that I don't know whose it is. And when I open the door, it's all dark, just the light in the bathroom's on. So I'm like, I don't recognize this house, this layout. I go and I walk quiet. I try to check for my phone. I didn't have it. I'm like, all right, whatever. I go into the living room. I see a gang of white people just passed out. Now, I don't really have a lot of white friends, and I know I wasn't partying with white people when I was at the club, so I don't really know how I got there. I was with my cousin, and I didn't know where he was. So I'm trying to creep and see where my cousin is, seeing all these people sleeping, trying not to feel like a weirdo because I wanted to get out of there. And I'm like, well, I don't see them. Let me check the rooms real quick. I didn't see anybody in the room. So this is 4 a.m, so it's 30 degrees outside. I don't even know what town I'm in. So I saw an empty bed in the room, and I was like, you know what, man? I'll just deal with this stuff in the morning, whatever. I don't even care. I'm about to go to sleep. I just passed out in somebody's bed. It was empty, and get this. In the morning, my cousin wakes me up. I was like, bro, where were you? He goes, dude, you guys locked me outside when I was hooking up with this girl. I had to sleep in my car. And my phone was in his car.
All right, 842-547-7. Let's talk about where you passed out at. Hey, Rome. One time I went to Vegas with my buddies and blacked out. The night of my life, I guess. I woke up naked in a chick's hotel with money in my pocket. The night before, we got wasted, and I guess I hit a jackpot on a roulette and won $3,000. Blew most of it on strippers and a limo with my buddies. I don't remember a thing. I think that's enough. Good morning, now. What's going on?
Yo, Romeo.
What up, man?
Hey, man, I remember that girl, man. This is Charles in charge, man. That girl rocked my world, man. We was in Vegas for my homeboy's bachelor party. That girl, man, she ain't nothing right. She has a Woody Allen tattoo on her backside, man. Ask her when she calls back. Tell her this is from the lover boy Charles.
Wait, you're talking about the girl from Vegas?
Oh, yeah, man. Who's in Vegas?
All right. Thanks
It was at the Rockstar Hotel, baby.
All right, man. Later.
You remember that one?
Oh, hey, that girl had the stones to call up and tell her story about hooking up with some dude passing out in Vegas. There's a lot of women that did that, okay? Don't be judging her. She's cool. All right, 842-547-7. Like I said, where'd you pass out? All right, let's talk about passing out. Where did you pass out at? 842-547-7. What up, Rome? Me and my girl, we would go out to the lake, get so drunk. This one time, we were having sex, and I passed out naked and woke up with both car doors open. It was a trip. Well, where was your chick at when all this went down? RD42547 Rome. It wasn't me, but a friend of mine. I'm not sure if they were seizures, but he used to pass out randomly sometimes. It would take about a minute, and he would come out of it like nothing happened. This one time we were swimming, and this dude passed out underwater. I pulled him out, and he had no clue what happened. Scared the hell out of me. Well, yeah, that would scare the hell out of you. What is that? He would just pass out and not remember anything or like nothing? Whew. That is a little scary. RD42547. Where'd you pass out? What'd you send me here? Hey, good morning, Romeo. It's Gilrod here. I passed out in my buddy's car in the parking lot of the time was RJ morning, and I was confused about where my buddy was. I was laying there with a dead phone. All of a sudden, I see my buddy crawling out of a dumpster. It was the funniest thing. He didn't even know how he got in there. He just woke up in there, he said. I mean, it's crazy, man. I mean, you go out, you have a good time, you're partying, and then, you know, sometimes you just pass out where you pass out. You never know what happened, right? How did he end up in a dumpster, though? That's pretty funny. RD42547. So where? Did you pass out somewhere? What happened? The weirdest place? The craziest place? Maybe you passed out next to somebody and you woke up next to them not knowing who they were? That's happened. Live from the Just Wing It studios. You guys looking for cold beer, hot wings, maybe some golf simulators? They got it. Just Wing It, the marketplace. Go check it out. Hey, good morning, Romeo. What are you talking about here? Oh, we're talking about passing out, man. Sometimes you drink too much. You just got to go to sleep. As my friend always says, she took a nap. She didn't pass out. She took a nap. Hey, Rome, I passed out in the bathroom at that pool hall in Pismo that everyone knows about. Oh, yeah, that one behind the T-shirt shop. I passed out in one of the stalls. My buddy had to come rescue me. That's hilarious. I passed out one time. It was funny. I had a party at my house, and I had this beautiful German Shepherd who would go hide under the bed whenever I had too many people over. You know, she'd get a little nervous. She'd go hide under the bed. So one night, I had all these people in my house, and I saw her in the bed, so I went to pet her real quick and just, you know, help her relax a little bit, and I passed out on the floor. Hey, Rome, a couple of years ago, I suffered a heat stroke at my son's very first football game. Rushed to the hospital, and when I woke up, his coach was there and told me that whatever happened to me needs to happen again because they blew out the other team. He took me passing out and being hospitalized as some type of omen. Oh, my God. Dude, that's cold. Oh, my God. That's horrible. RD42547. Where'd you guys pass out at? RD42547. Oh, Ruben. Ruben's an idiot sometimes. Rome, I passed out yesterday when Justin Bieber came out. That song put me to sleep. I love Justin Bieber. I love everything about Justin Bieber. I think he's the personal experience that I have with Justin Bieber, he was an amazing person. So Justin Bieber can never do any wrong. So Ruben's an idiot. All right, hey, Rome, I passed out in my grandma's backyard after 2 blocks from her house. I woke up around 8 a.m. and was walking away through the driveway when she opens the door and says, "I'm a menudo, come eat." Oh, that's hilarious. Hey, sometimes you just pass out, man. It happens, you know? It happens. You have too much fun. I mean, you have too much fun and you pass out somewhere. There's nothing wrong with it. All right, so I don't know if you guys care, but the World Cup is over. Who won? Spain won. Spain beat Argentina, and it turned into a brawl dang near. A couple of Argentina guys got pissed off. I don't know what happened, to be perfectly honest with you, but I guess they were sore losers is what I watched it. I didn't see exactly. Maybe somebody said something to somebody. But I've never seen soccer players do that before. I guess that's why nobody wanted Argentina to win. Is that why? I don't really know. I know everybody was against Argentina unless you're from Argentina. But is it just because they won the year before? I mean, I've told you guys this since this World Cup started. I don't know anything about soccer. I know a little more now than I did previously, because a buddy of mine's been having me watch it, and I've been trying to watch the games, but I really don't get it. But yeah, Argentina beat Spain, Spain beat Argentina yesterday, and it was there was some fighting afterwards for some reason. I guess Argentina. Anybody know why? Already 4-2-5-4-7-7, but I guess now it's done for another 4 years, right? We'll see them in 2030. Is that when the next one is? Yeah, it's every 4 years, right? Already 4-2-5-4-7-7. Hey, you Evan Cheese fan, Argentina and the rest of the South America side like foul and hurt the opponents or flop a lot. That's why people wanted Argentina to lose. They're good at it. So what? There are a bunch of enforcers. Is that Argentina? A bunch of sore losers? I mean, what is that? I don't know nothing about Argentina, but they sure look upset when they lost, and they actually got beat pretty good. It was actually pretty pathetic. The game I saw yesterday, but I just assumed nobody wanted them to win because they won last year. Nobody likes somebody to win again, you know. Already 4-2-5-4-7-7. The World Cup was over. Who performed? I missed the halftime show. I know Justin Bieber, Madonna, Shakira. I know they came out. I think BTS, BPD, or B somebody came out. I don't know who that was, but I didn't watch the halftime show, so I missed it. I was with Ruben. I fell asleep. 4-2-5-4-7-7. Hey, Rome. I don't know, but Messi had no hustle. Every time I see Messi, he was just walking around. Yeah, I mean, it did until he got the ball. You're right. Argentina was sorry yesterday. Let's be honest. I don't know nothing about soccer, but Argentina was sorry as far as I was concerned. All right, 842-547-7. Hey, Romeo, now that you've watched soccer, what do you think? It's the most popular sport in the world. How do you feel about it now after watching? I still think soccer's stupid. I won't, you got to acknowledge it's the biggest sport in the world. I believe I actually looked up its net worth or its value. Soccer's value is it's huge. But, I mean, I still think it's stupid. I mean, I watch it. I only watched it this year because my friends watch it and and I like hanging out with my friends. I tried, but they're worse than the NBA when it comes to flopping and acting hurt and the antics that it's actually embarrassing for that sport to be so successful with the embarrassment of their players. Now, even basketball has become more and more embarrassing with the things and the antics that they do. But the viewership has also gone down of the sport of basketball because, Americans look at it and go, that's just not what we want. But soccer is it got better. I will say this, though. As the teams got into the bracket round, as they got into the quarterfinals and the semifinals and the finals, there was less flopping and less shenanigans and more legitimate play. You could 100% see the difference in the earlier rounds versus when it got down to the nitty-gritty, when it got down to actually winning it. They were more focused. They didn't try to pretend like they were hurt. It was a different game. So I will give it credit for that, but it's still stupid. And the only reason it's the most successful game in the the world is because all it takes is a ball. It is also the cheapest game in the world. And when you got poor countries and kids that want to play something, and soccer's it. When you have, you can't afford baseball equipment or football equipment, basketball is probably the second, but you still got to have basketball hoops. So it's the only reason it's the most successful is because there are more poor countries than rich countries, and all it takes is a ball. Hey, you Chiefs fans, Shakira, my second wife, looked good at the halftime show. Shakira. boy. You guys, she's got everybody fooled. Shakira really does got you all fooled. Already 42547. Good morning, Romeo. Yeah, soccer sucks. It goes football, then baseball, Raiders and Dodgers. Raider Rob. Oh. Gosh, things have gotten so out of hand in professional sports recently. I don't know what is really worth watching anymore. I get, basketball, it has become a joke of itself, but I do have to say this. It's also a matter of perspective, growing up, football was king, baseball, basketball. I mean, basketball, you had all these greats that played basketball that just made the game so exciting and so fun to watch because it was a little more aggressive, a little less flopping, and it's just gotten worse over the years. Soccer is just embarrassing from the get-go. Soccer's just been embarrassing from the get-go. So, and we're just talking about professional levels. I'm not talking about collegiate levels or anything like that, just professional. Baseball has always been just too long. It just drags. I mean, so even baseball's kind of gotten a little, I don't know. I guess, Rob, it's maybe football then baseball. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what sport is worth watching anymore, to be honest with you. Money and betting has kind of ruined the sports, I think. But all right, Rob, but you're right. Soccer sucks. It does suck. All right, 842-547-7. Hey, you have a Chiefs fan, NFL around the corner. Are you going to make a banger Raiders song this year? When does the NFL start? I don't even know until the season starts. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see what happens. The Raiders are such a joke nowadays. Now I feel like I feel bad making fun of them. I mean, those songs were funny when they actually had a legitimate chance of doing something, I mean, even though they were never going to win it, at least they had a chance with, a few years with Derek Carr, they looked pretty good. Before that, I think they went to a Super Bowl, didn't they? So they were worth making. Now they're just an embarrassing joke. So I don't know, man. I almost feel bad making fun of the Raiders now. You guys, I think a lot of us grew up poor, right? A lot of us grew up with not a lot of extra money to spend. We had moms and dads that, could handle the basics, got us, food, shelter, clothes. Weren't the fanciest clothes, but, we had what we needed as kids. Some of you grew up in a house with 3 or 4 brothers, be a 2-3 bedroom with, 8 people in the house. Hey, but at least you had a roof over your head. Now, the reason I say that is, do you remember growing up without money and you guys, everybody wanted something, I mean, everybody wanted to be rich when they were a kid. Poor kids always say, hey, we want to be rich when we grow up, buy a Ferrari, and that's not true. A Malibu mansion, and that's not true. That's not realistic. But what is realistic is certain things that you want. I remember when I was in college, a friend of mine got me a job. And I had to work through college because I didn't have a lot of money. And my friend got me this good paying job. This was $10 an hour was good money back then. And he got me this job. And I remember the first time that I made enough money and I was able to buy a steak. The only steak I got to eat when I was in college was carne asada. Because carne asada was the cheapest piece of meat you could. And I know it's not anymore, but back then it was. So I remember the first time I was making enough money that I can actually buy a steak once a week. And I couldn't believe it. It's the greatest time of my life at that point. Now, do you guys ever think about that? Remember the first time? Some of you, I have friends that grew up, on the east side. And they bought, when they were able to buy a house. in Rosedale, or a house somewhere other, out of the neighborhood that they grew up on, upper end neighborhood. I mean, it happens. Do you guys remember the first time? I have a friend who always wanted a Celica when we were in college. He always wanted a Toyota Celica, and those at the time were the high-end car, or the high-end Toyota. They were a nice little whatever car for that age. I remember when he was first able to buy it. He got a good job. He got a job where he can afford a Toyota Celica. I think it was a Celica. I have to remember, right? Do you guys remember those days? Do you remember, you didn't have no money, but you were so happy because you finally could afford whatever it is, you could afford, or that you wanted to be able to. For me, it was the first time it happened was I could afford a steak. I was so excited. That was all it took. I remember one time, now we're not talking about a lot of money, but we're talking about enough money. I remember one time we went out with some guys. This was years ago when I first got to Bakersfield and started doing this show. And I made a little bit of money. I didn't make enough money at all means, but I made a little bit more money than the other guys. So I remember the guy said, "Hey, let's go out," and because I didn't normally go out with them. I never really hung out with the people I work with here, not for any other reason than just I do other things. And I remember the first time they said, "Let's go out." So I went out with them, and they bought the cheapest beer because that's all they could afford. And I said, "You know what? Let me buy you guys some real beer," because I had a little bit more money. I mean, it's just beer money. It's not like I was going to buy a Ferrari. Couldn't afford that. But I mean, yeah. And I was, everybody was so excited. Oh, we get to drink. And you know what I'm saying? When it just, sometimes it's just little things. I can finally afford it, whatever that it is. RD425477. I told you mine was steak. The first time I could afford to actually buy a ribeye steak. All I could ever afford, what was a treat to me when I was in college, because I was poor and I didn't make a lot of money, was carne asada. Now, carne asada used to be like cheap. And if you bought carne asada, that was a luxury to me. But I remember the first time I made enough money, I could actually go to the store and buy a ribeye. I could actually go to a butcher shop and buy a ribeye. And it was amazing. RD425477. Hey, Rome. That's why Jordans are so popular still. They can afford them when they can afford them. We an adult now. Oh, as an adult now. Yeah, there's a lot of things like that. I never had a pair of Jordans growing up as a kid because I couldn't afford it. That makes a lot of sense. But that's what adults do now. There's a lot of you out there that will buy things that you couldn't afford as a child or as a young adult, that's the point. RD425477. Good morning, Nat. What's going on?
Hey, Romeo.
What up, man?
I remember growing up, I was so poor. I always looked forward. I thought only rich people would order combo meals from the fast food restaurants. If I wanted to eat, I had to go to church on Sunday to get 59-cent chili dogs or a 39-cent cheeseburger. That was my hardest decision on Sunday. Do I want to go to church and eat?
That is hilarious.
You remember those days?
Yes, I remember those days. That's so funny though that you said that.
But now I eat chili dogs whenever I want, and I get the cheese.
The reason I'm laughing at that is because I thought rich people only got appetizers and dessert.
Oh, shit.
Because when we would go out, when we would get to go out to dinner, my parents would never let us order an appetizer or a dessert. We just got a meal.
Yep. And I found that out next after I got my combo meal. I was like,
oh, that's funny. All right, man. Thanks for calling. Later. RD42547 Oh my God, that's so funny. Yeah, I mean, you guys remember, Rome? I mean, when the first time you had enough money to buy something. I mean, it doesn't have to be something big. Like I said, it was steak. Now I have enough money out to go now and buy an appetizer and a dessert if I go out to dinner. But I don't, because when I grew up, we didn't have enough money for appetizers and dessert. So I just assumed I could never get one. But yeah, that's, you guys remember? What was it? What was the thing? What was the it? You can finally afford it. What was it that you could finally afford? And you were so excited. It doesn't have to be anything big. Do you remember when you finally made enough money to buy whatever it is that you could never afford, whether it be growing up or whether it be, you just starting out in life, you always wanted to buy something. You could never afford it. And now you can. Now you do it regularly, probably. Already 42547. Hey, Rome. I was a single mom with 3 kids living in a 2-bedroom apartment. I remember I was able to rent a 3-bedroom house when I started making more money and eventually buy my own home. I mean, that's just the dream, right? That's incredible that you were able to do that and how you feel about that. For some of us, it was just the little things, man. It was just, being able to buy a steak. Hey, Rome, it was the first time I went grocery shopping and didn't have to use a calculator when I was 20 years old, started working for the railroad. Didn't have to use a calculator. That's kind of funny. What is, yeah. Oh, because you're adding up everything as you're buying it. Oh, sure. But I mean, that's what I'm saying. Do you remember? The first time you started making a little bit of money and you were able to buy some of the things or buy something that you thought you never would be able to afford it? You know what I'm saying? Already 42547. We talking about the first time you could afford something. You always wanted something, you can never afford it. Do you remember the first time you could afford something because you started making a little more money? All right. Hey, Rome, good morning. I was super excited the first time I was able to afford the dinner at Benihana's. The bill for me and my date was $125 without tip back in 2004. I mean, that's awesome. Yeah, that's so cool. You remember the first time you could actually afford to go out? Do you remember the first time you could afford to go out to dinner? Bro, growing up, I got to go out to dinner maybe once a month. And it was to the pizza parlor. So, although I did live on a reservation, we didn't have a lot of restaurants, so that was something. But you guys remember the first time you were able to buy something, the feeling. And I know, I mean, a lot of you make some real money now and you're entitled because you got more money and you're listening to this going, Romeo, you're stupid. You guys are so dumb. We buy houses and cars. Yeah, but were you always like that? Were you always able to buy houses and cars? Maybe you were. I don't know. What? You remember when you were excited the first time you could afford something? I mean, it doesn't have to be anything big. Could be something small, could be something big. I remember the first time I bought my house, the first house I bought. I was so excited. I could finally afford it. It was going to be tough, but hey, I made enough money to buy my house, to live in a house. But there's also little things like before that, when you could afford to, I don't know, buy a steak. My friend just called me and said when she moved out to California, she was excited because she could afford her boob job. Which, yeah, I mean, when you could finally afford something, that was a big deal. You could pay for it yourself. You had the money. A lot of you guys probably don't remember that because you're just jackasses now. You probably don't remember the little things. Already 42547 Rome. We are adulting and doing big things when we got a Costco card. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Do you guys remember those things? I remember the first time I opened a paycheck, and after all my bills were going to be paid, my rent, my car, my insurance, my phone bill, my electric. I remember the first time, and I had $500 left. The first time I remember that, and I went. That's the first time I went out and bought a ribeye, because I could actually buy some groceries, that weren't the cheapest thing in the grocery store. First time you don't have to float a check. These things are all things that happen. All right, 842-547-7. Hey, Romeo, I remember being able to go to spend $400 on clothes at Kmart and Sears without having to put any of it on layaway. See what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be a big thing. I know everybody, everybody wanted to buy a house. You wanted to buy a car. You wanted, those are the big things. It costs a lot of money. The two biggest purchases in your life, which we all strive for, right? But what about the little things? The first time you could buy something that you never could afford, And maybe it hasn't happened to you yet, but it will. It will. Okay, you guys remember. Everybody, you got to remember this. Most of us did not grow up rich. We did not get everything we wanted. We couldn't afford it. Our parents did their very best and took care of us. Did an amazing job with money to take care of us. But we wanted stuff, right? Or maybe you're out on your own. You just start hitting the workforce and you're broke. And then that one day hits. For some reason, you got a little more cash, you got a raise, you got a little more change in your pocket, and you can afford something. And it's amazing. It's an amazing feeling. Already 42547-7. Rome, I had really bad growing up. Braces weren't cool or a financial option. So I finally got them myself at about 27, 28 years old. And I never regretted it. Now, they're so common, it doesn't seem like a big deal. But for some, it was not even a thought that they could afford it. You're absolutely right, by the way. And I'm going to tell you this about braces, just because I got a little bit of experience in it. I don't know when it became common for kids to get braces when what I believe their mouths aren't even fully developed yet. I got braces at 16. But now these kids get braces when they're born, damn near, when their teeth come in. 8, 9, 10, whatever. Doesn't that seem a little early? I don't know. Seems a little ridiculous to me, but okay. But I don't know. I'm no orthodontist, so I don't know. Maybe they're right. But yeah, they are so common today. And I remember having braces. I was made metal mouth. I was called metal mouth. I was made fun of. And yeah, I get it. Already 42547-7. But you see what I'm saying? I think most of you listening right now have a story. You have something that you couldn't afford, and now you have it because, well, you always wanted it because now you make enough money to get it. I mean, even if it's Jordans, even if it's I know a guy who makes real money. Oh my God, my buddy makes a lot of money. He bought that stupid, I shouldn't call it stupid, but he bought that G.I. Joe aircraft carrier because he always wanted it as a kid. His parents couldn't afford it. Now he's got, money he can just throw away on anything he wants, and he bought that aircraft carrier. But that's what you do, man. That's what you should do, by the way, because it feels good. Already 42547-7. You remember the first time you can afford something? You always wanted it. Never could afford it. You remember that first time? Good morning, Hal. What's going on?
Romeo, good morning.
What up, brother?
Man, I remember when I bought my first bottle of Hennessy. I just got the money from going to college. When they give you a grant?
Yeah.
And I was like, man, they just shot me like a bow wow. So first thing I want to do, is give me a bottle for myself. You know?
Yeah.
Man, by the time I got back to them dorm, it was gone. We drank that thing that night. So But I was glad I was able to get it. You know, that first one I bought, I ain't never gonna forget it.
That's
I was proud when I had it.
Everybody, I think has a little story like that. The first time you could afford to buy something, and you just damn.
Yeah, man.
It feels good. It feels good.
It does. You know, you want to make a good habit of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, brother.
Right on, Ron.
Later, man. I mean, I know. See, some of you guys listening right now or think we're just listen to these idiots talk. But you know, not all of us were entitled little jackasses like you. Some of us were excited when we could actually afford to buy some, even if it was a bottle of Hennessy or a ribeye steak or something that all of you took for granted. You know, what are you gonna do, man? Not be mad at somebody. Already 42547. And this is what I mean by this. I'm going to tell you this story right now. There's somebody that sent me, hey, Romeo, when I was, in high school, 17, I got pregnant and had a kid. Life was a struggle for a long time. Now, my parents did help me out, but they didn't have very much either. So I had a place to stay and help raise my child. I started working. I remember the first time I was able to take my daughter out to a sit-down dinner. I felt so good, like I accomplished something and can take care of my child. You know, as we grow, we get a little older, we get a little more common sense. Now I got a pretty decent job. I can take care of everything. It's all good now. But you're right, Rome. Anytime we can do something for the first time feels good. Yeah. You know, a lot of you guys going, oh, that's stupid. No, it's not. It's amazing. Romeo. Hey, Rome, I was poor as a kid, never had a Christmas or birthday parties. So now that I have a family of my own and make really good money, I give my kids everything. Take my kids everywhere, Disneyland, Legoland, etc. And I also enjoy it as well because it's new to me. My wife tells me I'm a big kid. Well, that's what you should do. I mean, that's absolutely what you should do. You know what I'm saying? That's a big deal. It's funny that you say that because I know I have a few friends who are like that, who never got these things, and so now they will never not do them for their kids. That just makes you a good person, a good parent. Already 42547. Romeo, you know what, Rome? I do Uber Eats, and yesterday I had an order to the Bakersfield Homeless Center and kept that in mind. Keep that in mind. I take my kids with me to do the Uber Eats, and we seen kids at the homeless shelter. And I told my kids, sometimes you got to be humble because me and my wife get my kids whatever they want, such as Xbox, Nintendos, Switch, etc. Yeah, I mean, you got to understand what's going on. You remember the first time you could afford something? You never could afford it before, and now you can afford it. Maybe maybe it's now, maybe it was back in the day. All right, so I got a text message. Hold on, from a buddy of mine. I'm in a text group with some friends that I went to college with and grew up with, and we would always go out clubbing, all the time. So it's a group of us. He said, Rome, tell him about the time we got bottle service for the first time. So there was probably about 15 of us that we all would hang out together, go to the same clubs, put our money in so we had enough gas money to get wherever we wanted to go, and things like that. There was a group of us. So one of our friends, the one who just texted me, is rich, but he wasn't rich. I mean, his parents did well. His parents did well, but they weren't rich. He's rich. So he was a good friend of ours, went away to college at some Ivy League school. And when he came back, the first time when he got back after he got his job and he started making this real good money. And he comes back and he calls us all and he goes, dude, let's go to Vegas. We're going to Vegas. He goes, I'm going to get bottle service. We're going to do it up like we never could afford in the past. And he did. It cost him like, I don't know, $10,000 or $15,000, something crazy like that. And it might have cost him more. I don't really know. But he just wanted to do it up. We all got to do it up. we all got to go to Vegas and have a table and the bottle service. And, it was, it's a good time. Yeah, he was excited about that. Good morning, Al. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, Roll and Seahawk Lou, bro?
What up, Lou?
I remember my first time when I was able to afford the whole carne asada party and just pay for it all, like sodas, meat, and everything. I even bought a new grill that day, and I was so excited, man. Like, if I ruin this meat, it's okay because I paid for it. You know what I mean?
I'm sure you did ruin it too.
Yeah, if I ruined it, I was able to afford some more. So, yeah, we're good, man. Memories, man.
That's memories. Everybody has something the first time they can afford something. Yeah, it
was my first little 2-burner grill, propane.
Okay.
Oh, man. It was beautiful, Rome. It was the best thing I ever bought.
Well, all right, Lou. I'm glad to hear it.
Thanks.
I mean, I like to laugh at Seahawk Lou, but man, do you guys remember the feeling when you could afford it, man? There's something to that when you can afford to buy something that you always wanted or you never could afford in the past. I mean, it's just a great feeling. Hey, Rome, it's kind of good and bad. Growing up was a struggle, but for my kids, it wasn't. Now they always expect me to pay for everything, but I guess that's my fault for always saying yes. Have a good one, Rome. It's ready to rob. It's not. People always say that. People always, like Ray to Rob said, it's a good and it's a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. If you can raise your kids to not have to struggle in the same in a way that you did, if they don't have to live your life to be good people. Now everybody always says, "Oh, wrong. We were raised poor, so we got character. These kids today are all entitled and blah blah blah." Well, the reason they're entitled is because you're doing a terrible job as a parent. Being able to afford everything for your children is not the problem. The problem is you don't know how to do both. Teach them to be good human beings and buy them everything. We had to learn to be good human beings through a struggle. Yeah, you don't have to do that. I'm ready for 254-7-7. Hey, Rome, yes, you're right about getting kids braces too early. Some do have extenuating circumstances, so they have to start early, but your teeth never stop shifting. So when they get them early years and don't wear their retainer, guess what? They'll need them again in their 20s and 30s. And ortho is never going to turn down 10 grand. My cousin got all snarky with me when I told her, if your kid has decent teeth, don't even bother taking them to an ortho because they will tell you anything to get braces on them. Oh, I mean, I always thought, get your kids braces a lot. I know this is a different conversation because somebody texted earlier. They were so excited because they always have messed up teeth when they can finally afford braces. I think that is, I think you're, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. I think that, but I guess I'm getting some verification about that. I will say this though, that from what I know about braces in town, Dr. Thurman, is he still around? I know he was always, hey, come back when it's time. I think he was pretty legit, if I remember correctly, with some people I know that used him, and he actually told them, no, your kid doesn't need him now. Just wait. So, hey, there's some honest people out there.
Romeo in the Morning.
Every morning.
On 94.1.